members at KFUPM have been using classroom response tools such as Kahoot in their classrooms, which is something not new for the KFUPM. As the scope of usage of such kind of tools has increased, we are now working to provide institutional support for the use of classroom response tools at the university. Today's session is part of the effort. In this session, we will go through the main features of using Kahoot in the classroom, including creating a quiz or a presentation with Kahoot. We have today with us Fernando Calleja, who is the Senior Customer Success Manager at Kahoot. He describes himself as a customer-focused professional with over 10 years of experience, who is joining us today from Denmark. Thank you, Fernando, for your contribution to our university's effort to enhance student learning in classroom. Please introduce us to the features and functionalities of Kahoot. So welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Unite, and welcome everyone to today's Kahoot session. My name is Fernando. Actually, yes, I'm based in Denmark, in Copenhagen, but I am originally from Spain, from Madrid. So thank you so much for taking the time to learn about Kahoot, about the main features. I'm gonna try to make an interactive session as the name of the session. So first thing I'm gonna start doing is sharing my screen, and I'm gonna ask everyone to join one Kahoot session that I have created for today. So let me share with you my screen, and I'm gonna also share the sound, something that is important when you run your Kahoot session online, because part of the magic is our sound, our music, our melody. So this is the main screen you all will see when hosting a Kahoot. I will show you how to get there, but in this main session, in this main, let's say, screen, you have the different game modes available for your Kahoot licenses. So the most common one, the most used, let's say that is this one, the classic mode. That is the one we are gonna play now. However, for those that want to stay a bit longer, we will also test the team mode after the main explanation. So these are the four main game modes we have. And then we have other more interactive game modes, more gamified, with different characters that are the ones you have here: Robot Run, Lost Pyramid, etc., etc. Okay. So before getting started, I wanted to show you that here on the right-hand side of the screen, you have this wheel. This wheel is called Settings. In this wheel called Settings, you will be able to personalize the session that you will host. So in my case, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna, for example, tell you that I always recommend you to activate this option, this Show Questions on Devices, for which you will be able to see on your mobile or on your laptop or on your AirPod. You will be able to see the same information that is going to appear on the main screen. And this is something I always suggest everyone to have activated, because the problem is that when you have a big group of students and there is a not very big screen, they can be struggling a bit in trying to understand what information is on their mobile when there is no information on their mobile and everything is on the main screen except for the colors. There is also this player identifier option that is something that your university has to configure. Once it's activated, you will be able to get an additional element for identifying what student is behind the name that has chosen for the session. So as an example, it could be an email address. So that means that your students, when they will connect, they will have a nickname in the game, but also they will have to give personal data that will be very, very useful for you at the end of the course for merging together all the different reporting from the same class and having a common element for understanding who is the person behind that username. Then there are the characters that make, let's say, the experience a bit more funny. I'm gonna also choose them for today, and you will see them when connecting. You can also adjust the theme you wanna have in the lobby, also the language. It could also be Arabic. I'm not gonna do it because unfortunately I don't speak Arabic. I'm gonna keep English. Also the music, the lobby music you want to choose for playing. There are different elements. My recommendation is, of course, you don't need to memorize all of them, but my suggestion is that you go on this question mark and you read the information that explains you a bit what it's the feature about. An important one is this nickname generator. So sometimes when we are with big groups, we are a bit afraid maybe that someone, especially if it's not like a group we already know, someone chooses a name that is not appropriate for the session. So by choosing this nickname generator, what it happens is that students, they will get assigned a name from Kahoot, and they won't be able to choose their nickname for the game. Okay, I'm not gonna choose it because I trust on everyone and including a normal name. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna start this session. Remember, classic mode, and it's time to play. So I'm gonna click start. And here, next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this screen a bit bigger, full screen. It's something I always recommend. And I also have the possibility to adjust the volume depending on how much I want you to hear the music. And here you have the three different options available for you to connect into Kahoot session. So there is the QR code that is probably one of the most popular ones. So you just go on your mobile and you scan the QR code, and there is nothing else you need. You don't need to include any username and password. You just choose your nickname and you go into the session. And then there are also these other two options on top of the screen. You can join from kahoot.it. For example, if you are in your in your navigator on your laptop, and then you include the game pin. Or if you have the Kahoot app on your mobile, you just choose the Kahoot app and you insert the game pin. Every single game we have a different game pin. Okay, so this is a unique code that is generated every time you run a Kahoot. So I only see 2 people connected, so I'm gonna ask everyone to join as much as you can, and I will give a minute for that. It should be technically easy. I hope no one struggles in this step. So I'm gonna give some time. We have 29 participants in the call, and remember, you don't need to have the license. Okay, so don't worry for that. This is let's say a session open to everyone. And the experience you are experiencing right now is exactly the same experience that the students will experience in the class. Okay, they will just join from their laptop, their mobile, and they will go into the session. So 7 people. Let's give 30 more seconds, and we get started. Okay, so
Yeah, we have a comment in Zoom.
yeah, it's taking too much time for checking your nickname.
Yes.
It shouldn't be any problem. Maybe it's something related to the internet connection, or I don't know. But in this case, I didn't activate the player identifier. That it makes the session a bit slower because people have to like choose an additional step. So, however, we can. Yeah.
Could you reiterate how to hook on?
Say that again, please.
Could you reiterate how to open this app?
So, okay, there are 3 different options. The first one is on the app. In case you have on your mobile Kahoot app, you go on the app and you include the game pin. The other one is in case you are on your laptop or on your mobile and you want to open a navigator page, you go into kahoot.it and you include the game pin. And the third, that for me is the easiest, the most straightforward, is that you go on your camera from your mobile, you scan the QR code, and you get into the session. So, okay, I see more people connecting. That's great. So maybe Junai, do you think we can get started?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. However, people will be able to join during the session. I will explain how. So let me click into start, and I also unlock this game because I am happy with people joining after if they need it. Okay, so this is today's webinar, getting started with Kahoot as digital tool for student response in classroom. As I would say at the beginning, and my name is Fernando, based in Copenhagen office and customer success manager from Kahoot. Today's agenda, it's about an introduction of what is Kahoot about. I also want to cover all the different question types with you. We will also go into the different use cases for you as education professionals, and then we will go into the platform where we will create a Kahoot together, and I will show you how to host your Kahoot or assign your Kahoot for your students. Also, there will be some space at the end for questions if there are, and if someone wants to stay a bit longer, we can also play another different game mode. But the idea is that this webinar takes 1 hour. Also, I will stay a bit longer for those that want to experience other game mode. So Kahoot is a game-based learning solution, and one of the things we always talk about Kahoot is all the different positive impact and benefits that has in the classes. So there are different researchers, different, let's say, studies that confirm that Kahoot has a very positive impact in things like reducing the stress in the classes, increasing the student participation, engagement, motivation, reducing anxiety, and also increasing the final marks at the end of the course. For those that are connecting a bit late, you have below the screen Kahoot.it and also the game pin. You can go on your website, and you can just in Kahoot.it go into the game pin and connect. Okay. So there is also a recording that I see that our colleagues are already registering, and it's fine because probably there is a lot of information today. So don't worry, don't stress. You will probably need in some cases to watch the session again, because I know there is a lot of information. In Kahoot, we have 2 different question types, and it's true that Kahoot is very popular for our question types. Today, I want to show you that Kahoot is much more than this. But of course, question types are important for us and are important for our users and our clients. So we are going to start by experiencing them. The first question types we have are the ones we call collect opinion question type. In those collect opinion questions, what we have is gathering people's feedback, people's opinion, and we don't want to reward people for what they think or for what they express. This is just about knowing the class, knowing people's interest, knowing what they are looking for, knowing how they're feeling. And for those purposes, we have 7 different question types. And now is when the, let's say, emotion starts, because now we are going to start testing some of them. I think is the best way to explain what these question types are about. So let's get started. Let's take, for example, in this case, please all the mobiles with you, because you will be replying some of these questions. So let's start with the scale. And it's, I feel very confident hosting Kahoot. And it's important to mention hosting, because I'm sure that many of you have already played Kahoot in the past as students, but not sure about how many of you have already hosted the Kahoot. You can choose in this scale a number. In this case, I chose from 1 to 5, and there are different texts that you can choose, agree or disagree. And every question around collecting people's opinions gives you the option to choose between show answers and skip answers. It depends on you if you want to show the answers to the audience. I'm going to show it because I'm interested in knowing what is the level of the class. And I can see that the level is quite good. It's 3.9. So most of you strongly agree or agree that you feel confident by hosting Kahoot. Now let's go into the poll. How often do you use Kahoot? And in this poll, I have chosen 6 different options. You can choose a number from 2 to 6. And as I was mentioning, there is no correct, there is no wrong. You can also make some kind of multi-answer. So it could be like different options chosen. In this case, I just want you to choose one of them. And here on the left-hand side of the screen, you see the timing. This is also something you can personalize. I put 1 minute. I know it's too much, so I'm gonna give 5 more seconds, and I click into skip. So here in skip, I see that 5 of you never used it before. 3. Sorry? Okay, I think someone was
So,
not. Okay, 3 of you have used it only as participant and 1 of them rarely. Okay, so let's go into drop pin. That is another of the new question types we have. And here in drop pin, the idea is that students, they answer in a different way. Instead of choosing text, you place an image and you ask people to drop the pin in the part of the screen that represents their option the best. So I have included let's say a local question. What's your favorite national dish? It's kapsa, mandi, jaresh, or mutabak. And let's see what is the preference of the audience. So I think it's pretty clear that it's very into these 3 options: kapsa, jaresh, and mandi. Sorry for my pronunciation if it's not the correct. And yeah, let's go into the next one, and let's go into the word cloud. Word cloud is a really nice question type that allows people to answer with 1 word, and then on the screen you will see the word bigger or smaller depending on the number of answers that are exactly the same. So I guess that people will be replying in English. I hope so. So if there are, for example, 2 options that are France and only 1 option that is Italy, France will appear bigger in this word cloud on the screen. So let's see how many.
Fernando, most of the people are having difficulty connecting. I also couldn't connect
Okay.
to Kahoot. I don't know what's the problem.
Is maybe something related to, I don't know, the internet connection, or?
I don't know. So some people have joined, maybe, but anyway, just to let you know.
Okay, thank you so much for letting me know. It's something that shouldn't be happening. Sorry for the inconvenience. Normally, it's pretty straightforward to just connect on the different options I gave on the initial screen. For those that are being able to connect, it could also be something related to our servers or something that is happening right now only in Kahoot on our website. But normally there are these 3 ways to connect. And remember that Kahoot.it is the option that is always available during the competition, the one you have below, the link with that pin code. So hopefully it's something that it could be fixed. I'm sorry I cannot make anything here. So I see that there are 2 options that are, I think, the same, Saudi Arabia. So in this case, this should be probably the winner. So yeah, let's go into other question types. So there are questions for collecting people's opinion, and there are also questions for trying to understand if our students, they understood the topic, if they know well the lesson, and to, let's say, understand the progress they are making in the class. So there are 7 question types as well here. We have the option now with the licenses. You have to choose among millions of images. There is even a math equation editor. You can also customize points, timing. We will see that when creating the Kahoot. So let's get started with some of them. So pin answer, that is very similar from the question type that we saw before, the drop pin. But here, of course, there is an image and there is an area in that image that is the correct area. So now you have to choose what is the correct area. So where is Kahoot from? It's something I didn't say before, but it's not Denmark. It's a bit close from Denmark. It's a country in north of Europe. And I'm giving tips because if you respond later, you get less points. So the idea is that the fastest you respond, the more points you get. I like that person that put the pin in between Sweden, Germany, and Denmark. That was a good way to try to get some points. But actually, the correct answer is Norway. Kahoot is a Norwegian company, and headquarters are in Oslo.
One thing we discovered, Fernando, that when joining as a nickname, if you enter just, like 1 character or 2 characters, it's joining. But if you try to write your full name, it's not joining. I don't know why this is happening, but I was able to join after I just enter my name initials. So this is for the others if you are having difficulty joining.
Yes, and that's very good. You mentioned never experienced that before. It could be something temporary that is happening now in Kahoot. But yes, for those that are trying to connect, and thank you so much for letting me know. You have the option, remember, below, kahoot.it and the game pin, and try to connect with these two letters. And let's see if this works. However, everything is recorded. These questions are very good to experience them, of course, but you will see that the most important part of the today's session is the demo. That, of course, is always fine if you connect and you can compete. By the way, we only have 0 points. No one got the first question correct. So let's see if in the next one you can get some points. So let's go into the puzzle. And the puzzle, it's a very good way to ask students to put in order different elements. It could be, for example, what is the biggest and the smallest planet, or what city is bigger than other, or what happened before and or later in terms of history. So I have here chosen 4 cities. You have to put them in order from the biggest to the smallest in terms of population. So we have Kuwait City, Doha, Riyadh, and Dubai. And I'm gonna give some more seconds because I know that maybe some people are connecting and they can maybe reply this question. It's very good to see that now we have 16 answers. So probably it's because some of you had the opportunity to join. I'm so happy for that. So for that reason, I'm gonna give, I think I'm gonna give all the time we have on the screen just to make sure that some of you can still connect. Okay, so yeah, I don't think there are more answers coming, so probably, yeah, I will skip in 5 seconds and let's see who got this one correct. So yes, the order is the following: Riyadh, Dubai, Kuwait City, and Doha. I have only been in Kuwait City by now. Looking forward to visit Riyadh, of course, and 6 of you got the correct answer. So let's see how this has an impact on the classification. So we have JS leading, and then SH and HI. You will see that there are different points, and the difference is how fast people responded. So those responding faster, they get up to a maximum of 1,000 points. For the rest, the slower you respond, the less points you get. So now let's go into the slider. And there is another question type. It's very good, of course, for numbers and for choosing let's say a range. And you have to for example, it could be in what year something happened, what is the percentage of X things happening, how many children has someone. Could be used in many different ways. And one of the things I love the most of this one is that you can be, let's say, permissive, or you can be very strict. I prefer to be a bit permissive, especially when it's a difficult one, and you can also give some extra points or some points to those that even if they didn't get the correct answer, they were very close to the correct one. So those that responded 3.6, they will get points, but not as many points as the ones that got the correct answer, that was 2.8%. That is an impressive percentage. So this is the unemployment rate in Saudi Arabia, and we have A that is leading the scoreboard. So let's go into the next question. That is a true or false? And is the Meccan Royal Clock Tower in Saudi Arabia has the largest clock face in the world? Is this true? Is this false? And true or false is probably the easiest question type you can create, right? Because it doesn't require a lot of effort. It's only true, false. You just put in a statement. I love doing this kind of trainings to different schools, universities, because I always learn something new from each country. And let's see if this is correct. Yes, this is correct, and it looks like every one of you knows it. So yes, the Meccan Royal Clock Tower has the largest clock face in the world. It's something I didn't know. So we have A, that it's getting another correct answer, and no big changes in the classification, only QM. He or she went into the 5th position, probably because it was a bit faster than the rest. So let's go into the quiz, and this is a multi-select. So quiz, not only one correct answer, different correct answers. So which of the following were famous Arab engineers or inventors? And I could try to pronounce all of them, but I prefer not to do so. So I prefer to give you the time and the concentration to read the names on the screen. Let's see. So I see that most of you got correct answers. So yes, Al-Jazari, Al-Khwarizmi, and Al-Haytham. Those three are famous engineers or inventors. If I remember well, the other options, most of them were politicians or writers. So let's see. There are some changes. JS is back into the first position, SH, and then A. And you will also notice that there are messages here below, like this one, H just hit answer streak 3. So congrats also H for getting 3 correct answers in a row. So we tried some of the questions that are available in your licenses, and we will try others a bit later. But what I wanted to also give is a message that there is no wrong or there is no correct way to use Kahoot. You as instructors, professors, teachers, professionals from education, you can use the license as the way you want. So basically, there are some of you that prefer using Kahoot for introducing new topics, others for reviewing existing topics, others for assigning homework, or for just having some fun one day in the class as a reward or icebreaker, etc. So as I said before, there is no correct, there is no wrong. You will find the way you want to use Kahoot as an ally for training and development. And I always like to mention that these paid licenses that your university is giving to you give you the possibility to work in the full Kahoot ecosystem. And what is the Kahoot ecosystem about? Basically, in this Kahoot ecosystem, you will be able to create your Kahoot and then to decide if you want to play this Kahoot live, like we are doing today, or if you want to assign it as a homework, as an activity, a task out of the classes. For what? For then going into the insights, understanding what people got well, what people got wrong, and creating new Kahoots. And this is the, let's say, the ecosystem and the cycle that we encourage our users to use. And of course, as many other solutions, AI is here to stay. And with artificial intelligence, you can now make Kahoots faster. You can make them in a very, very, very good way. There are more options that we are developing. We will see some of them in the demo. But in a nutshell, you can now create Kahoots from prompt. You can also upload documents. You can also use links. And you will see that in any of these cases, Kahoots are created in a very, very fast way. I always recommend everyone that when you use artificial intelligence, you always review the content, especially if the content comes from a prompt. If it comes from a document you upload, I always think that it's always more trustable because it's all the information you provide, the one that is going to be used for creating that Kahoot, and not information available on the internet. Something privacy related, don't worry about documents you upload for AI. We don't storage them, we remove them from our servers. AI artificial intelligence is not learning with your documents. We just use them for creating the Kahoot and then they disappear from us. So we don't want to storage any personal or confidential document in our servers. And the technology we use when it comes to AI is the Microsoft technology. And then we have different game modes. Today we are using the classic one in which you connect from your mobile and you compete against the other colleagues. But there is also the option that you as a host, you decide to host a Kahoot and to make teams in the class. And for those that want to stay a bit longer later, I will show you how it works. But basically, you have the option like to provide if you want a team talk, so time to the teams to discuss the options of answer. You can also like give them the option to like choose what team they want to join, or you can be the one creating the teams. And at the end of the session, you will get in the reporting all the different data regarding the answers, each of them answer individually and also as a team. And I always encourage you to experience all these team modes because are very good, especially for team collaboration and also for engagement in your classes. And then I mentioned before that Kahoots, once you create them, you can decide if you want to host them, as I am doing today with you, or if you want to assign them. And assign them means you want people to answer their Kahoot out of the classes as an activity. So there are different options when assigning. We will see them in the demo. And you also have at the end of the Kahoot, at the end of the hosting a Kahoot or assigning the Kahoot, to see in results. And you will be able to see these results and also to get feedback that we will see how it works as well during the session. So a lot of information, a lot of things I know. The idea is now I go on the platform and together we navigate into the platform and we see all these main features. So I'm gonna exit this full screen, and now where I'm gonna go is go into my Kahoot session. You saw that I didn't ask you to leave your Kahoot session from your mobiles because I expect you to continue answering after this demo. And I am running all this session online by using Kahoot. I haven't used another presentation. I haven't used PowerPoint or Google Drive. I'm just running Kahoot, and now I change it to another window where I will show you how the platform works. So first thing to get started with is that on the left-hand side of the screen, here on the top, we have this drop-down menu where you can choose if you want to work in your private workspace or in your team workspace. So maybe some of you don't have the licenses yet, others probably yes. So depending on that, you will see 1 or 2 spaces. For those that don't have the the paid license, you will only see the private workspace. So every single person can create a Kahoot session and have a free license. And that gives you access to this private workspace. When your institution, your university, your school gives you access to a paid solution, that gives you access to what it's called the team workspace. In team workspace, you have access to all the premium and paid features because your school is paying for them. However, in the time you have access to this team workspace, all these paid options are replicated in the private workspace as well, just for you to know it. I always encourage everyone to work in the team workspace for 2 reasons. First of all, because I want to make sure that everyone has a good experience and that all the paid functions work well. And this is something that only the team workspace guarantees. And secondly, because in team workspace, you can decide if you want to collaborate or if you don't want to collaborate. So don't think that just for working in the team workspace, you have to share all the things you do with the rest of your colleagues. We will see that there are different ways of collaboration within the library that we will talk a bit more about. So once we choose where we want to start working from, I'm going to start working from the team workspace. I'm going to show you as well some of the elements that we have on the left-hand side menu of the screen. So starting from the bottom, we have the help option. In help, you can look for articles where you can read more about a specific feature, something that maybe we didn't cover in today's session. One of them, it could be the groups. So if I type groups, I click into intro to groups, for example, and I can go into this article. Here I read all the information about groups. It might happen as well that I have a technical issue or something related to my billing in case I was paying for a private license or whatever. I can go into the help and support center. It opens this screen, and here you have the contact us option. If you click it here, you will see that you have the option to go into contact our support team. This opens you a form that it takes nothing to complete, of course, just the information you want to provide for your case, and you will receive an answer in between 24 to 72 hours. We also have the option to suggest a feature in case there is something on the platform you would like to be different or you want to provide feedback. Feedback is a gift, so use it. You also have the What's New option, where you can see the latest new features available on the platform. Then there are other spaces here. I want to focus on what is the difference between Access Pass, Marketplace, and Discover. So Access Pass will be, let's say, a subscription that for X amount of money, that is of course something individual, you decide to have or not, you have access to a very, very big number of Kahoots created by our content creators. Marketplace is a bit different. It's more like an Amazon, let's say, where you don't pay for a subscription, you just pay for a material you want to get. Okay, so let's suppose you are looking for something specific, for example, about astronomy. You go into here, into Marketplace, and then you pay for that content for one Kahoot. However, I always recommend to go into Discover, because when you go into Discover and you want to look for a specific topic, it could be, for example, Mars, the planet. I click it here, and here if I go into filters, I can choose in free content. I can also choose in language, so English, and here I have different Kahoots that are available. I can go into one of them, for example, this Mars Fun Facts. Let's suppose that I read it, I love it, I just want to host it live with my students, or let's suppose that I want also to make some changes, so I can edit it, or I can just duplicate it. If I duplicate it, what it will happen is that this open resource, this Mars Fun Facts Kahoot, will go into my library, and you will see that it's here, duplicate of Mars Fun Facts, and now I am the owner of a Kahoot that I didn't create. A Kahoot that is available, it's open, but of course, this is something you can do in case you don't want to spend time creating a Kahoot and you want to take a Kahoot that is available from our free library. Today, I want you to create a Kahoot, okay? And of course, we are gonna create a Kahoot. This is, let's say, a trick for you to be very fast. But before creating the Kahoot, I want to start also presenting you the library. What is the library about? Library, remember, we are in our team workspace and we go into library. Here in library, we have two different folders. We have your folder and you have organizations folder. And the difference between them is that in your folder, you have the content you create within the team workspace and only you have access to it. So this is the folder that it will be your private folder, okay? And then in organization folder is where everyone can place their Kahoots, and those Kahoots are intended to be shared with the rest of the team, with the rest of your colleagues. You will be able to see in this organization folder who was the creator of this Kahoot. In this case, it was me, for example, here my colleague Milu. And when I create a Kahoot, I have access to all the different options in these three dots, okay? So I can decide to delete, to move to trash. I can also decide to, for example, edit this Kahoot. I can also decide to lock this Kahoot. And this is a very important one. I always recommend you, when you create Kahoots and you place Kahoots in the organization folder, to lock them. Why? Because we want to prevent people to make changes in our Kahoot. If we click into lock, people will be able to assign this Kahoot, people will be able to host this Kahoot, but they won't be able to edit this Kahoot. Only the owner of the Kahoot will be able to edit it. Another important thing is that, let's suppose that this is not my Kahoot, I want to use this Kahoot and I want to make changes in this Kahoot. What I can perfectly do is click into duplicate. When I duplicate this Kahoot, I create a duplicate that now I am the owner and I can edit it, okay? So other last thing that is very important is that when I am the owner of a Kahoot, I can move this Kahoot. And I can move this Kahoot to one of the team folders here, to my folder, or also to my private workspace. The way to do so is super easy. You just go in the three dots, you click into the option move, and then here you click in the folder where you want to move it, and you click into move. Now I go into your folder, and here is my Kahoot.
Fernando, I've noticed that when you make a new Kahoot, by default, it goes to the organization folder. Is
It
this
depends.
correct?
No, it depends on where you create it from. If you start working in your private workspace, for example, and you click in create, it should be automatically saved in the private workspace.
Okay.
But no, that's a very good point, because now I have to also mention something regarding that when I create my Kahoot, because you will also see that there is a way to also like prevent to go into the organization folder. Thank you for the question. So here we have all the Kahoots that are part of the organization. Of course, there are more options. You can always change the visibility. Visibility means that, let's suppose that I have my Kahoot. I want my Kahoot to be accessible to everyone, but for 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week, I want to put it as unlisted. That means that people, they won't see it. The only one seeing it is me, okay? So that's all. There are, of course, more elements. I always suggest you to go with time to read them. I covered the most important ones today, and I always recommend you to go into the help option in case you have any question. There are thousands of articles regarding collaboration. But now it's time to create a Kahoot. And when we create a Kahoot, we click into the button create. And here we have 3 different options. We can create a Kahoot, we can create a story, we can create a course. I'm not going to be covering today courses and stories. I recommend you to go into help to read all the information about them, but I want to explain you what they are about. Stories are pieces of content that you can assign to your students for them to read, or you can also present in the class. Courses will be a more complex element in which you position like pieces of content, plus also questions, videos, PDF, etc., etc. Actually, I recommend you that the first time you create a course, you click into course and you respect this creator guide, because it's the only way you make sure that you don't skip any of these steps. If you skip any of these steps when creating the course, it might happen that then you receive an error when creating the course. So go into the creator guide and step by step you create your course. But now let's focus on what it matters for today, that is Kahoot. Let's create a Kahoot. And we go into create Kahoot, and there are different options to start with. We can start from AI options, we can start from blank canvas, we can start from importing or from predefined templates. If I start from blank canvas, that will be the easiest one. It will be like, for example, here, if I put an example, like what's the capital of France? And here I put 2 options, Paris or London. If you see here, the system is already like giving me some options of images that could make sense, that you can also choose from GIFs, videos, also audios. You can also upload your own media from your laptop. So I'm gonna add this one. Here I can also change the question type. I can also change the time limit. I can adjust it according to the difficulty or the size of the audience, also the point system. So standard means people can get a maximum of 1,000 points, double points a maximum of 2,000 points, and then no points. And then in answer options, you have the single select or multi-select in case you want to put more than one answer as valid. Of course, always make sure you choose a valid answer. And you can also use the image reveal. That is very nice because, as I said to you before, the faster you respond, the more points you get. Let's suppose that people are confused. They don't know if it's Paris and London, and probably this Eiffel Tower is gonna help them, and they will be answering a bit later than those that knew the answer. Okay. Go always into settings and give a title into your France example. And here it's where you choose where the Kahoot wants to be saved when you create it. Okay, so you can choose also to create it in your folder or in your private workspace. So I'm gonna click into done. I'm gonna click into save, and now I have created my first Kahoot. Secondly, I'm gonna create a Kahoot, but by using artificial intelligence. So same steps. I go into here, and now I go into PDF to Kahoot. I have a Kahoot that I have, I have a PDF that I have downloaded that is a Vision 2030 from the Saudi Arabia government. So here we have a lot of pages, a lot of information. Keep in mind, maximum of 150 pages. It doesn't matter if there are like images. It can also be uploaded in a lot of languages. Of course, Arabic is one of them. If there are questions and answers within this document, like listed as question and answers, you can extract them directly. But I'm gonna click now into generate, and one Kahoot should be created from this PDF. Remember that the information that will be displayed here is information that is taken from the document, okay? Here you see that Kahoot is suggesting different questions with answers coming from the document. You can also choose different experiences. That means that instead of creating like a normal Kahoot with different questions and answers, you can also like create a micro lesson. You can also create a presentation. It's something I really like. Basically, presentation means that Kahoot is gonna give you a mix between slides from the document and also questions. However, I don't want to make it more complex because we are also running out a bit of time. I want to also show you that you can choose the level of difficulty, the tone of voice, and also the length. Let's suppose I'm super happy with all the different questions here, and I'm gonna click into add all of them. If it's not the case, I can always go one by one, clicking into add and sending them to my Kahoot. Okay, I like the 20 questions. So those questions are now into my Kahoot. And here I have all the questions from this document that Kahoot has generated. Now I can choose as well to put them in a different order. I can drag them like I'm doing here. If I don't like one of them, I can delete them. I can duplicate them. I can go into the question type and change the format. I can also change the image if I don't like it. Something you will see that when you create Kahoots from artificial intelligence is that they use this format of image in which the image covers the whole screen. You can also use the user's media, and then you can also go into changing the image by removing it. One thing you will notice is that there is this theme at the end that it can also be changed here. Clicking in themes, you can choose a different one. You can choose one of the ones created from Kahoot. You can also create your own theme, or you can also use one of the ones provided by your institution, by your university. So let's suppose that I want this one, or that I just want the image to be used as a background. So now that I have my Kahoot, I would like to create more questions. I can do them manually. I can also use the prompt if I want. I could perfectly like choose and say, let's say Saudi Arabia economy, and I will get more and more and more questions. Also, I can copy paste an URL, for example, Wikipedia one, but I can also import a document. If I import a document, what it happens is that I go into my Google Drive and I sync. So let me go back again. If I click into import, there are three options. I can import a spreadsheet. I can also upload a file from my laptop, or I can sync with my Google Drive or with my OneDrive. I click into Google Drive. I go into Kahoot. And now it opens my, go into Kingdom. Let's say, yes. So here I am syncing my Kahoot with my document from my Google Drive, and you will see this document here in the screen appearing. So I'm gonna add this slide. And now that I have my slide, I'm gonna put this slide at the beginning. And now I'm gonna go into the original document, and I have visit Saudi Arabia. Let's say that instead of putting visit Saudi Arabia, I want to put visit us. Sorry, visit us. And then I go back on my Kahoot, here, and I click into update. When I click into update, I can choose to update all the slides or only the one I'm using. And what is gonna happen is that Kahoot is gonna synchronize with my Google Drive, and the change that it's on my original document will be also visible into this Kahoot. That's the reason why I always recommend synchronizing Kahoot with your documents. And of course, if you don't click into the update button, changes are not reflected. So I click into save because I am super happy with this Kahoot. And now I have this Exploring Saudi Vision 2030. You will notice that there was a name that I didn't include, and it is because Kahoot, when you create something with AI, suggests you a name. So the name can be, of course, change it if you want in the edit option, or also as well when clicking into the document here in the edit as well. So now that we have my document ready, my Kahoot ready, I can also choose if I want to assign it or if I want to host it live, okay? So what this is two main ways, or the two ways to play Kahoots. If I click into host live, what is gonna happen is that it's gonna go into the previous main screen where you could choose the different game modes, and then the next step was asking the students to join. If you click into assign, what it happens is that you create a task, you create an activity, okay? So here you can set a deadline. So that means you give your students X amount of time for them to complete this activity. You can also choose all these different options. I always recommend especially the randomized answer order, because you want to prevent the students to share between them the order of the answers. And this one for me, it's very, very important. Let's suppose that I'm happy with the options I have on the screen, and that sends me to reports. So I click it in assign, I chose the different options available, and then I click in next, and now our reporting is open. Why? Because the next step is that you share with your students this Kahoot. And the way you can do it is by the three ones you have in this reports menu. You can use the QR code, you can download it and share it with your students by email, on your LMS, or on your intranet, wherever. You can also share the game pin and ask them to join from their app, or you can also share the URL, copy paste, and send them by email, for example, the link. Once the students are responding to this assignment, what it will happen is that you will see here participants, you will see their number of answers they got correct, also the ones they got an answer, etc., etc. At the end of the assignment, you will be able as well to download the reporting and to see the results. This challenge ends in 3 days, as you can see. Here you also have the option like to move to trust when you finish the assignment, etc., etc. You can also make changes in the deadline, as you can see here. Something that you will also wonder is what is happening with the Kahoot we are playing right now. If we go into the reports, you see here that we have this assigned Kahoots, Exploring Saudi Arabia version 1, Vision, and then we have the one we are playing now, that is King Fahd's University. If I click to here, I have all the different participants, I have the percentage of correct answers, unanswered, and also the points. At the end of the session, I will be able to download the report and to get all the information from that. By the way, talking about reporting, here you also have all the different reports of Kahoots you played. One important thing is that, let's suppose you are playing Kahoots with the same class, you can select all these Kahoots, for example, this one and this one, let's suppose that are from the same class, and click in combine. What it will happen is that you will get a merge Kahoot report. So this is the reporting part. We have created a Kahoot. We have not hosted, show you where to click on host, because I will show you now when playing another Kahoot how to do it again. I also show you how to assign the Kahoot, and I also show you the report section and all the main, let's say, options available on the left-hand side of the menu. In order to respect the time, there will be a space, of course, for questions, but I'm gonna go back into the Kahoot, and I'm gonna click into next, and I'm gonna go into the word cloud. Again, what question type are you looking forward to use? And don't worry if you don't know the name, okay? It took me a long time to learn all the naming of our question types. So remember, you had the pin answer, you have the multi-select, you have the slider, you have the puzzle. There are too many. Let's see if any of them is more popular. Okay, so we have, yes, MCQ, pin, slider, multiple types. Okay, good. So brainstorm, how did you find the session? And here you can like choose one word or one comment, or if you have a question as well, you can ask a question in this one, and I will let you know why. Because in this brainstorm, something that it happens is that all the different answers are displayed on the screen, and then the students, they can vote for the one that is more popular, and that encourages a lot the participation, because then the one that has more votes will get more points. So we are gonna sort the ideas. We have informative, very useful, interactive, need to try it out. Yes, so happy that you need to try it out. And now if I click in start voting, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but I want just you to see how it works. You will be able from your mobile to like vote the ones that represent you the most. And the students that they have proposed the most popular ones, they will get more points as a reward. Okay. So there are 8 votes, 9 votes, 10 votes. Let's give it to a stop voting. And now here you will see how Kahoot puts in order all the different answers. Need to try it out with 3 informative, and 4 very useful. Great. So that's perfect. Let's click into next. Let's see. H probably got one popular idea voted. Now we have also the NPS. NPS is one of the options you have in the collect opinion answers, where you can ask the class to vote from 0 to 10. NPS means from 0 to 6 is the detractor, 7 to 8 is neutral, 9 to 10 is a promoter. So you can ask your opinion, and then you will get a report with all these numbers. So if I click here, I can skip answers or I can show answers. So yes, we got 1, 7, 1, 8, 1, 9, and 1, 10. Thank you very much. And then the drop pin, would you like to try a Kahoot in team mode after this session? So this is a question, of course. If there are not enough people, I cannot try it. That's why I'm asking you. If you want to try it after today's session. Okay, I'm gonna give. And I'm sorry for those that couldn't connect into today's session. I hope that at least you had a good experience. So yes, it looks like we only have 2 people. So what I will do is I will show you something. I will show you how to run it, but we won't play it, okay? Because it doesn't make sense for 2 people to play a team mode. And the last question, where am I from? That means me, Fernando. I'm from a country that is not Denmark, even if I live here. And this one is a double point. I always like to mention that it's very important that sometimes, from time to time, you include these double point questions in order to create excitement, because sometimes some students, they can feel that they are a bit apart from the competition, maybe because they are very behind. And then when they see that there is this kind of double point questions, that get excited and they think they have possibilities to go into the podium. Yes, we have these options that I gave as valid. And now if I click in review answers, I could choose to give this one as valid or not. This is important, and it's important question type, because sometimes we have students that they have some difficulty in writing, or maybe there are 1,000 of potential correct answers. So we can always give this one incorrect or correct. In this case, I speak Portuguese, I have to say, but I'm not from Portugal, I'm from Spain, so I'm not gonna give it as valid. I'm gonna click in cancel, and now I'm gonna click into next, and we are gonna see the podium. And we have Ben, we have S, and we have JS. So congrats a lot for today's victory.
Okay,
And
Fernando, we have like time is up, but there are a few questions if you would like
yes,
to answer
sure,
them.
of course.
They are in the chat.
Let me go and
Like
have a look.
this.
Sure, let me see. So what is the meaning of Kahoot? It's a Norwegian word. It's something that I don't remember right now, I have to say. And but it was explained to me some time ago. It has a meaning. I suggest you to go online and look for it. I think the private workspace is not available in the license version. Is it true? Everyone should get access to a private workspace because licenses, they always have one email, and that email always has a private workspace within it. And then there is the second space, that is the team workspace. That is the one in case you have a paid license. It could be your own paid license or the university paid license, you get access to. But private workspace, for me, it's weird that there is no,
No, it's there. It's there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then if there is a multi-stage competition, all participants start stage 1, the best half go to stage 2, and the best to stage go to stage 3. How we plan this in Kahoot? Okay, so in this case, you cannot eliminate people. You cannot forbid people to go into their mobiles and to jump into a second Kahoot or third Kahoot. So basically here you have to ask participants to stay out in case that they don't move forward from the first stage. One way you can do that is asking, for example, to use a player identifier that I think is very nice in this case. So let's suppose you have a class of, for example, 8 people. You want the 4 better to move into the second stage. If there is someone that is participating in the second stage and it's not one of the first 4, thanks to player identifier, since the student has to give the email address, you will be able to know who was that student and then exclude it from the competition. But you have to do it afterwards. You cannot do it before. You can always, of course, eliminate the students when they connect into the lobby. If you know by nickname that this student shouldn't be in the second stage. Remember that when you all were connecting, I had the option, if I click on the nickname, to delete someone's participation, but it's something manual as well. And thank you, yes, thank you so much as well for your time. Very quick one, in case that some of you want to test, talking about competitions, that it's a very important topic. In case you want to, at certain moment, like to play a competition, let's suppose that I'm gonna share my screen 1 second, trying also to show you this thing that I think is important. Let's suppose I want to play this Kahoot, this France example that is not very exciting. You shouldn't see this Kahootopia screen as long as you haven't activated it. So it should be this screen, the one you see. And then you choose the team mode. And in team mode, you can choose if you want your students to use 1 device per team. Let's suppose that you are in a class and you have 10 students with 1 tablet, another 10 students with 1 tablet. So you only have 2 tablets, right? Or you can choose 1 device per participant. So I'm gonna choose the 1 device per participant option. And then when I click into start, I don't want anyone to connect now, okay? I just want to show you that here you have the possibility like to create new teams by clicking in this plus, to edit and to remove existing teams. You can also edit the name, and you can also in settings choose options that, for example, allow team selection, so allowing students to move from one team to other or not, and also like give them, for example, team talk. That means that in case they are together in the same class, you want to give some brainstorming time for them to discuss the answer. So those are the options for team mode, and that's all from my side. I don't know if there is other question or we can finish the session for today.
Yes, I think, thank you very much, Fernando. I think this covered most of the thing that we need to know about using Kahoot, and the recording will be available to everyone. So I hope this was helpful, and let's just wish everyone a good day. So thank you, Fernando.
Thank you so much. Have a good rest of the week.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.